I think you got it.
Did I get it?
No, let's go to the Lord in prayer. I would just thank you for this wonderful day that you've given us. We just thank you for the bread of life and the blessings that you pour out. We just thank you, Father, for this wonderful building that we can meet in, for the opportunity that you've given us to serve our community and our city. We just ask for your blessing on this meeting. May everything we do and say here be pleasing in your name. And Father, we just thank you for all you do for us and forgive us where you fail us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please face the flag and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you be kind enough?
Mr. Everson?
Here.
Mr. Jenkins? Mr. Corbin?
Here.
Mr. Webb?
Here.
Mr. Shine?
Present.
Mr. Sam Jenkins?
Present. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Oliver Jenkins is out of town today and he will not be present for the meeting.
Okay, would y'all please put a note on that? Sibley, I know that's your friend.
Who's that, my friend?
If you just jot it down. Tomorrow, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the administrative conference on Monday, July 21st, city council meeting Tuesday, July 22nd. Mr. Mayor?
Oh, Mr. Shine.
I believe we're with you today, since you got a fresh haircut.
How you do, Mr. Shine, members of the
Right.
council?
Wait, just before you say that, I see Dale keeps his cut, huh?
Notice that, huh?
Won't be long, though, ought to be like you.
He's getting there.
Yeah, he's getting there. How'd you hear that, huh? All right. Did you hear that? Dale said, won't be long, you getting like him.
Hard nose.
Already there.
Hard nose day.
Man, I'm sorry.
Not a problem.
She still got a full head of hair.
I don't know. It's getting a little thin too, Mr. Shine.
Okay. Okay,
That comes with the age, though.
that's true.
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, I'll take all of our communications today and we'll combine them into one. Some things we'll wait till when they actually come up on the agenda, but we'll start since I had a chance to see Ms. Johnson come in with us, the elected representative of our local employees union. The one thing that no doubt has been a big topic of conversation here, second row, Mr. Shine, with the that'd be chartreuse colored attire on, I think. Obviously, one of the big topics of conversation over the last week has been the fact that we had some 38 members of our workforce in solid waste that called in sick on last Monday, 32 on Tuesday, and then Thursday of last week we had some folks within the customer service division of the water and sewer department who called in as well. While there has been no direct and specific communication to the administration regarding the basis or the source of any of those things, we did reach out and have the opportunity, and we certainly appreciate the willingness of Ms. Johnson as well as Mr. Eddie Savannah to meet with myself and Dale Sibley as Chief Administrative Officer, and we've had a chance to meet and dialogue with them on at least 2 occasions on last week and discuss some of the issues that they had heard that had reached their ears. We have an expectation that we will have a contingent of other employees who will join us on tomorrow for our regular meeting as well, and we certainly will welcome their comment and input and what have you. Mr. Chairman, I know as chair you will handle and direct as you see proper and appropriate. I know based upon the last dialogue that we had with Ms. Johnson, I believe on either Thursday or Friday, Dale, I'm not quite sure if it was Thursday or Friday, which day. The one thing that she left us with was a desire for a 6% across the board pay raise for all employees. Obviously, there are also some equipment issues that we discussed as well.
Let me just stop you 1 minute. You mean all city employees or those who work in sanitation?
All city employees. Yeah, so, or essentially, I guess, all of our non-civil service, non-appointed, I guess, would be the folks that would be probably most specifically covered by that. And obviously, that wouldn't apply to those of us in the elected ranks as well.
Well, now, I'm glad you said that because Sam had just started smiling.
But yes, that would be a across the board 6% pay raise for all of our non-civil service city employees, and we certainly told her that we appreciated that direct and specific input. It was the first time that we'd had a chance to be able to get some idea directly from the employees in terms of what the issues were, and what we shared with her as well as Mr. Savannah was that it was certainly not the desire of this administration or this council to not give pay raises, but our ability to be able to do so had been somewhat limited since 2008, 2009, in that we ended up as an administration and this council as well as the previous council focused on maintaining the number of employees that we have as well as maintaining our level of service as opposed to cutting service and cutting employees and consequently creating a scenario where there may have been additional monies available that could have gone towards raises. So raises ended up being a lesser priority than the maintaining of our workforce and maintaining a level of service. But what I've asked Dale and staff to do is to be able to share with Ms. Johnson as well as the council and the public what it is that a pay raise would constitute by percentage point. So we start with 1%, and if you want to find out what 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, we would just multiply from there to be able to have some idea as we have gone through our budgetary discussions over the last several years as well as to what those costs are, and to also make sure that we all understand that those are not one-time costs, but costs that we ultimately end up having to factor in every year going forward, as well as the accompanying retirement implications and what have you that go along with that. There are also some ongoing discussions, as there always are, about the equipment needs that we have for the city, and we look forward to being able to continue to review and potentially address those with the council as well. And as we also shared, we always welcome the opportunity to be able to address issues regarding how it is that we go about addressing problems, complaints, and what have you with employees. One of the things that we thought was significant about the council's decision, and that's both this council as well as the previous council, to authorize a union effort going forward, with that it would give us the ability to be able to engage in direct, constructive discussions and dialogue about workforce or workplace issues and those sorts of things. And so we look forward to being able to carry that dialogue forward with her and her colleagues as well. The one thing, Mr. Shine, that we did express was that it would be something that would be very difficult from an administrative standpoint to be able to address or support, and something I would assume that a good number of our employees would find objectionable as well, and that is for us to be able to target raises towards specific subgroups of employees. Obviously, we've dealt with classified versus civil service and all the things that go along with that over the years, but the idea of being able to identify one particular group as opposed to another, whether that's solid waste versus water and sewer versus parks and recreation versus clerical administrative versus finance and what have you, that those would represent challenges that would, as an administration, would find very difficult to be able to take on, and would certainly have an ear for what the council's perspective would be as well. But with that, since Ms. Johnson is here, we certainly assume that she'll be joining us again on tomorrow. But if you'd like to take some time today, Mr. Shine,
I'd be happy to let her come up and make some statements to the council and administration. And I don't know whether Councilwoman McCullough would like to make a few remarks on that, since she
Sure, I'll
Was
make
out
some
there.
remarks, I don't mind.
let Councilwoman McCullough make her remarks, and then you come up, and because her remarks will be short.
Yeah, very brief. My biggest concern for the past 4 years in meeting with solid waste employees, and at the end of the day, at the most recent Under the Tree meeting, no, as a matter of fact, Macedonia Baptist Church, to my discovery, and listening to the employees, Councilman Shine, usually at the workplace when you have certain benefits that are provided to the employees, there should be a method or something to orientate or educate the employees as to what those benefits are. And my reason for stating that is because, based on my experience as an educator, and especially a special needs instructor, a lot of times your population is not made up of great readers, great writers, with good cognitive or comprehension skills. So my point is this, that if we as a city and the union, if we're going to provide a benefit to our employees, I think we need to, or we should, without the asking of the employees, it is our duty, it is our obligation to educate and orientate those employees as to what those benefits are. And bear in mind that, all of us don't have the same reading and writing skills. And so if you just throw something at me and say, hey, if you want to sign up for the union, here it is. If I have a problem writing, if I have a problem with comprehension, if there are some cognitive skills that I'm having problems with, or even problems with reading, it pretty much take away the pride of that individual to confess that. So again, the one thing that I would like to see in the future, Councilman Shine, is if benefits such as the union and other benefits are being provided to our employees, the least we could do without the asking is provide training, orientation, or some form of education, keeping them informed to the advantages and disadvantages of those benefits.
All right, now, is it any other council member that would like to make a statement pertaining to this before the union representative? Am I right? Is that right?
Will we be able to ask some questions after she's made her statement? Because I would like to hear from her, and I'd like to know specifically what are the demands of the employees from her as the union representative.
All right, just start up, but before you say anything, is there any other council member that would like to say anything? If not, please come up. Okay, just state your name too.
Good evening. My name is Sheila Johnson. You want me to state my address as well?
Please.
Okay, I'm going to give you the local address. It's 3924 Greenwood Road in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay.
And I am the president for the Shreveport City Workers, Local 1325.
Okay.
And some of the concerns of the employees, number one, is the pay wages. That's something that we have been fighting for some time now. And employees have basically just gotten frustrated with the same answer year after year after year after year. The employee morale is at a low state, and I think that's in several departments, not just sanitation, throughout the city of Shreveport. Some of the sanitation workers' equipment. The equipment do not hold up, or it may break down in the process of them going to their route. You may see one on the side of the road, and the guys are just, standing in the heated hot sun, waiting for either another one to come in and help with the route. The long work hours is another their concern. From my understanding, they work from 6:45 a.m. till 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. So those are some of the concerns that they've shared with us. And we would just like to reach out and try to see what we can do to come to the aid of some of these sanitation workers. We're not just going to ask for a pay raise just for that one group of individuals. We're requesting that you all consider throughout the city of Shreveport as a whole. And, excuse me again, once the new employees come in through orientation, they're not informed of the union at that point. So I don't know if it's something that we maybe can put into place to have them, to have that information as coming up, coming aboard with the city of Shreveport. That would be a great help.
Is the demand for a 6% across the board pay increase? Is that what's coming from your rank and file? Is that what's coming from the union? Is that the number that we're being asked to look at, 6%
Yes,
across
sir.
the board?
Yes.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, I certainly want to commend you and your group for standing with the employees and bringing forward, their concerns.
Thank you.
As you know, it's been in the press, it's been in the media. And,
Yes.
I know it's something that needs to be looked at. How well do you feel about the fact that we asking about a 6% pay increase? Is one thing to run numbers, it's another thing to have some realistic approach to a pay increase. And I do understand, it's a recurring obligation. It's not a one-time thing.
Right.
Have you all talked in it all about Councilman Webb's legislation about the bonus, the one-time $1,000 bonus, I think, for classified employees? Has that been discussed amongst your rank and file?
Yes, I wanted to actually, bring that up as well. From my understanding, that process has been tabled. And
Legislation has been tabled because it hasn't been funded, and it hasn't been funded because we've been trying to get some information about the monies that are now being held by the Shreveport Mortgage Authority, Shreveport Home Mortgage Authority. We had a Audit and Finance Committee meeting just prior to this meeting. I thought there may have been some representatives there from the administration, maybe to discuss what the status of that was about.
Okay.
Because there could be ample funds from that source to discuss a one-time bonus for classified employees,
Right.
As well as other uses for those funds that may come into play. But I'm hoping and I'm trusting that you all as a union, it's not just want to see numbers run, okay? You want some realistic appreciation for the possibility of pay increases and where the source of money is going to come from for that.
Yeah.
Has any kind of study been done to try to determine what would be an appropriate pay increase based upon the jobs that people are performing? Whether or not Councilman Webb's legislation is something that would be helpful to the cause.
Okay.
And in order to do that, we would have to get some funding for that and have that available. I know with people going back to school and going off to college, $1,000 around this time would be great.
Right, exactly.
I'm sure
Exactly.
some of the employees could use it too. So
Right.
I'm just saying, I hope you all will dig deep in your discussions with the administration
Okay.
and try to get some concrete answers to the questions that are being raised by your rank and file. And I know we will probably hear from some of them on tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
I believe in many respects they're depending on you guys to represent them, and not only just talking about it, but how did it get a result? How would we get a result for them out of this effort? Because I think they really put themselves out there. They took a chance on this.
Yes.
And I think they want to see some results. So continue to work on it, and I would just urge my colleagues also that we would keep an open ear and see what we can do and where we sit to help with a situation like this. Certainly, there's a legal contract in place between the city and the union that needs to be respected.
Yes, sir.
But at the same time, I hope that you all will dig as deep as you can to try to get some results for your membership. Okay.
Let me say this before you answer that. Are you saying that you all would take the one-time bonus and not look at the raise?
No, we're not
Oh,
saying
okay,
that.
then
I'm
I
not
just,
suggesting that.
oh, okay,
I want to be clear. I'm saying in addition to
That's right.
Okay.
some kind of pay increase,
okay, that's good.
which is something, if I
Right.
could, Mr. Chairman, needs to be, in my opinion,
Mhm.
don't need to just be a matter of running numbers. It needs to be some realistic approach to how that's gonna be done. Have we looked at it? Has it been studied? Where would the money come from? What are those possibilities? I'm saying in addition to that,
Right.
Councilman Webb has some legislation that's been on the table because it needs funding. And I think you as union representatives need to know this information so you can successfully discuss it with your rank and file. And if the negotiations go with the city on it, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't, Sam, I'm sorry. I think I kind of had the floor, and I didn't mean to open up another conversation with Sam. I just want to make sure that everything is clear. I'm an old school teacher myself, and I just want to make everything clear, because I think the bonus was brought in on this, and you really didn't mention anything about the bonus. You
That was,
mentioned
it was coming.
Right, the 6% pay raise. Let me ask the administration to do this, and I'm opening it up for other council members. So, you know,
Took the
none
floor
of
back
us.
from me, Mr. Chairman?
Huh?
Have you taken the floor back from me?
Well,
Yes.
I have, because I had the floor. You know, you jumped in when I had the floor.
All right,
So
Mr. Chair.
I'm taking the floor back from you because I want to give other council members an opportunity. I don't want you just dominating the whole discussion. And I would ask the mayor this and the CEO, I would hope tomorrow that the information that you all would have, kind of give it tomorrow so the public, because this will be televised tomorrow, and we want the public to know, because I've gotten some calls from the public, and I know probably other council members have gotten some calls from the public. And what I would do, I'm going to ask her, and I'm going to ask you all too, to write this out. Give us some, give us something in black and white, if I can use that term, Jeff. Give us something in black and white. Well, we'll have something to look at it. And would you all please do the same thing? What you're asking for, instead of just coming before us and telling us, could you have a pass out? Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it's 5 things that y'all are asking for,
Bullets.
I don't care if you put it in a bullet point, a shotgun point, or whatever point you put it in. Just put it on some paper,
That's okay.
and that gives us something to go by. Excuse me. And Mr. Mayor, you all too, if it's gonna be 1%, 2%, 3%, or 4%, up to 6%, please let us know how much this is gonna cost. And if there's no way that the budget will do this, please let us know, so we'll have something to look at. The other thing I want to ask, and because Mr. Harris, I had somebody to call me, Mr. Mayor, because said that there are quite a few workers down there that are, what you call these organizations that send workers.
Temporary.
Yeah, temporary.
I heard the same thing.
Right. See how many it is, and I'm told by some of them that, hey, what we're supposed to be getting, we don't really get that, because this temporary service takes a lot of this away. And would you get with Mr. Harris, and Mr. Harris, see what we can do about that, because that's, if it's a temp service is getting a third of what they make, they're gonna walk away with nothing. And I think, we need to look at, if we got 5 or 10 or however, let's see if we can't bring them in. Let's see if we can hire them full time, and then, that's a raise there, because the temp service, if I'm making any sense, wouldn't be getting this kind of money. And if it's not possible, Mr. Sibley, please let us know.
Okay. Well, before Stan comes up, if I may, Mayor,
Yeah.
we use temps throughout the organization as a way of supplementing our manpower. So it's not a situation where, if we didn't use these temps, that's money would be available to do something else with. But we use them in every department almost. So it's just a way of supplementing our manpower without incurring the cost of a full-time employee. Plus, there are some particular traits and issues that Stan has in sanitation that impacts And Stan, if you come up and speak to that,
Well,
impacts
while
how many
Stan
temps
is
we
coming
use and
up-
how we use them.
Why Stan is coming up, I understand that, but I'm told that you got people out there working in sanitation that's been working for 6, 7, 8 months on a temp. Now, if he's been working for 6 or 7, 8 months out there in that hot weather, cold weather, doing what's supposed to be done, I don't want nobody sitting up in the office, you know, getting part of my money. If you know, that would help to do away with some of this 6% raise, because I don't know what y'all gonna come up with, but I know if you come up with 6%, you know how Buddy Roma used to say, scrub the budget?
Ms. Chan, you
Yes.
mentioned that somebody in the office getting whose money, not quite sure how you.
The temp.
The temps are actually working out on the garbage trucks.
No, but I'm saying,
The temp service.
some of their money goes to somebody that's running the temporary service. You know, I'm told that that's what they, and because I didn't know anything about it. I mean, I didn't realize, and Mr. Harris, you can clear it up, because it could have been some false information that I got, you know. Let Mr. Harris come up 1 minute, and then you can come right back.
The temporaries, what we use temporaries for is simply to help on the trucks. The most critical element that really impacts us is the actual drivers, because the drivers have to have CDLs. That restricts us on the number of trucks that we're actually able to put out on the route. The temps is just like just an overload in case we need additional positions. So we don't have a problem hiring people that are non-drivers. Our most critical component is the actual driver itself.
Because they have to have a CDL license.
That's correct.
I think we all understand that, but if you
Right.
got a temp that's working on the back of a truck picking up garbage, and he's been out there 6 or 7, 8 months, if he's worked that long, you know, he should have proved himself to somebody that, hey, look, we can put this guy on full-time.
Right. But,
work.
and there's also certain requirements they have to pass in order to become city employees as well. So sometimes they don't meet those requirements.
Well, I mean, could you give me 2 or 3 requirements that they would have to meet besides passing a drug test? And now, if they don't pass a drug test, I don't see how we can even let them work as a temp.
Well, that's part of the issue. The drug test, the background, their work history, whether they have any type of a criminal background, those types of things. Because these are individuals that we're actually putting out into our neighborhoods, and we have to be very conscious about who we...
Well, why would you put them out into the neighborhood as a temp? I mean, you know, I can do what I want to do. You know, I could act ugly in the neighborhood as a temp. You know, I mean, you know, sometimes if he knows that he has a job, I'm sorry, if she knows that they have a job, you know, hey, this might help them out a little bit better.
And I certainly would agree with you there. Let me take a look at that situation, and I can give you some, I can report back.
I wish you would, because, you know, maybe I'm talking a little premature, but, you know, I'll support the administration on any raises that they want to give, but to me, this would be a raise. You know, and I think we do that to our employees. I mean, I don't think we need to have somebody working in some temp agency, getting part of their money. And I could see if it's 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 5 weeks, but you know, now I'm told, and I could be wrong, that there are some people working out there, and because the union rep might be able to tell me that daily, that's some people working out there for 7, 8, or 9 months. I'd hate to see you working over there as a temp. You know, I don't think you would like that. And I know I wouldn't. You know, I put 31 years in the school system. And Ron, I'd have been out there with you doing some roofs if they was going to have me on a temp, you know.
I'm hired.
And, you know, the temps have to work just as hard as the guy who's full-time. So would you please look into that? You know, that might be one way we can kind of help solve that.
We will take a look at that.
That situation, unless we got more money down there, Mr. Mayor, than I think we got.
Stan, would you speak to this? Is there a reason as to why we would have someone continue to work that would be eligible to be a city employee?
Yeah, that's right.
Is there
right,
someone that would be eligible to be a city employee that
employee.
we would continue to work under a temp status?
That's what I want to know.
I think part of the question, and Stan, may have to be a little judicious in answering this, and that there may be some folks who meet a temp status and standard, but that don't meet a city of Shreveport standard. And
Well, that's what I want to know. I mean, I'd like for you tomorrow then,
Okay.
write down what the standards are.
Okay.
well, because one of the things you have to understand, when it comes to a temp service, the employer of record is not the city of Shreveport.
I understand that.
And so when it comes to workers' comp liability and other issues, in terms of that workers' employment status, it ends up being extended to the staffing company as opposed to the city of Shreveport. So
I understand that, but I also want you to understand that if there's any way we can put these people on full time, I think we have a moral obligation to do that.
Understand.
And I'd like for you to let me see what we're looking at, because, you know, as a council here, we might want to change some of those requirements. You know, if it's something off the end. You know, sometimes we sit in judgment when maybe we need to take another look at it. You know, it's easy to judge somebody else. You know. So I'd like for us to take a look at it, please.
Question, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
How many temps do we have?
It varies because it fluctuates based on our need.
30, 40, 100?
Yeah.
I mean, what?
No, we don't have 30, 40, 100.
I'm told that we got quite a few out there. Would you take a look at it
Yeah.
so you can
I can come
tell
back
us
with
what
the
it is?
actual numbers tomorrow and
Uh-huh.
there's more specific information that you requested.
Please, and what I'd like for you to do, I'd like for you to write it down, if and pass it to Mr. Thompson, and Mr. Thompson will pass it to us, so we'll have some hard information there. Because when folks call me from the community and that kind of stuff, yeah, you know, I don't want to be talking off the top of my head.
Right.
You know, I want to be able to look at these hard numbers and say, this is what it is. This is what the qualification is. Because, you know, I think we all know that if you got a little dope in you, you know, you got to go clean yourself up. Because I don't want them coming to my house with a full-time temp with a little dope in them. But, you know, other than that, let's look at this. Let's see if we can't take a look at what we're doing.
Okay.
You know, because when they call me and I've gotten some phone calls criticizing, y'all need to give them a raise, y'all need to do this, and y'all need to do that, you know. And I might used to do it. I don't want to just send them to you. You know, I want, because this is a team effort.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying. I don't want to say, hey, look, you know, I'm for you. You know, check the mayor out, and you know, if he don't want to give you one, I'm gonna support him. If he want to give you one, you know, I'm gonna support him. I really don't want to have to do that. I want to have some information because this is a very serious problem. We're dealing with the lives of these people. You know, we're dealing with like Sam say, some of them that might want to go to college. You know, so let's look at what we can do, and let's look at the facts, and let's just don't be guessing at it and sweeping it on the rug. And I'm just taking your word because you're standing up there. Not that you're not a Christian man, but just kind of write something down so we'll have something to go with.
I would be more than happy to do so.
I appreciate it, Mr. Harris.
Mr. Shine.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to say what Dale and I just both acknowledged, that this is something that will probably also end up being more specific and more appropriate for Angelita Jackson as our Director of Human Resources.
Could you have her to come down
Absolutely.
tomorrow?
We will, and Mr. Sean, Mayor, if I may, because we use temps throughout the organization. That's one of the items we look at every year when we talk about raises, because we don't isolate it by departments, Mr. Shine. You know, Public Works by itself may be able to generate some, but we got to add up enough to get that number that we're going to share with you tomorrow. So we look at it across the board. We look at the number of temps, we look at overtime, we look at equipment, we look at every number possible to figure out. For example, 6% is about $4.8 million for the classified system by itself. What we look at is how do we get $4.8 million across the board. So there may be something that can be generated in Public Works, but it may not be enough to give 5 or 6% across the board, or even within his department. But we'll share those numbers, we'll look at those numbers, and I just want to be sure that we don't, we get away from the fact that we're looking at it across the whole system, not just in his individual department.
You got to remember now, I'm not talking about a raise. I'm looking at temps in his department. That's what I
Right.
wanna know tomorrow.
And it's a cost.
Now, if they got
thing.
some in Parks and Recreation or
Right.
somewhere else, hey, you can take that and put it in your shirt pocket. I mean, nobody called me about temps nowhere else, or in the finance department.
So the concern is taking it from temp to permanent.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Taking it
from temp to permanent,
Okay.
in his department.
Okay. I thought you meant in terms of a rate. I got you.
No,
I got
in
you.
his department. Now, if somebody else wanna know overall, let them ask the question.
Okay, I got you.
Mr. Harris, I'm talking about in your department.
Yes, I understand.
Cause it's,
that. Yeah.
it's a booger man, you know, working out there, what those guys do.
Yes, it is.
You know, I'd hate to be out there doing that.
It's a very
And-
difficult job.
And I think I have a moral responsibility, and I think this council have a moral responsibility
Mm-hmm.
to especially look at these guys out there. Now, some of those other temps might be sitting up in an air-conditioned office.
Mm-hmm.
Or might, when it's real cold, when it's freezing, they might be sitting up in a warm office.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys out there are not sitting up in a warm office.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's my concern right now.
I got you.
Is that department, not overall. Now, although I am concerned about the overall,
Mm-hmm.
because we work as a team. That's why I just got through telling the mayor, I don't wanna, when they call me, somebody call me, Rep so-and-so might call me, I don't wanna say, well, you know, you go see the mayor. You know, I wanna be able to have some information to give him about your department. Now, if he asks me about another department, I might tell him to go see the CEO and the mayor. You know, but for your department, these are calls that I have gotten.
Got it.
And I want my conscience to be clear, because I have to go home at night and sleep. And when you get my age, it's hard sleeping with something on your mind. All of y'all out there that's not my age, you'll find it out. So I want to make sure that I'm clear. I want to make sure that we treat these employees fair. Because when they come up and don't pick up paper and that kind of stuff in the neighborhood, you know, I want to be able to raise a little hell. Now, I haven't been doing it years before I have. And that's the other thing, Mr. Sibley, I'm going to ask you to, later on, to check your schedule, because I'd like for me and you to spend about an hour over in Hollywood Heights, because folks been, I met with them, and they took me around and see all the trash dumps, you know, although we got a big one on the Cup Road, but we got some little ones out there.
The illegal.
Yeah, and, because I had seen them, you know, but, you know, when you got 15 to 20 people, you have to go with them, and that's what I want me and you to do. Thursday, find out what would be a good time, and I'll see what would be a good time for me. And Mr. Harris, I'd like for you to go along with us, because what we're going to be looking at is trash dumps. These folks are telling me, Joe, it's a shame. We living in the city, paying city taxes, you know, and my neighbor, y'all need to pick him up, take him to jail or something, you know. So we need to see what we can do in order to alleviate that. And you see, we got school kids now going to school. I want those kids walking by all that trash in that neighborhood. It makes them think they ain't nobody. You know. So, you know, that's what we got to do. This is a part of the Shreveport becoming the next great city of the South. And that's what we got to do. Now, anybody else got any questions for Miss
I have one for Ms. Johnson.
Miss Johnson? Come back up, please.
I wanted to share with Ms. Johnson one of the remarks that was made by one of the workers at the most recent meeting, and that was, and maybe it was prior to the signing of the collective bargaining agreement, February 2014. Maybe this remark was made to them prior to that. But as I was going out to my car leaving the meeting, one of the young men said, well, you know, when we mentioned to Ms. Johnson about when we discussed the possibility of a raise, her reply was, it'll probably be 8 or 9 years before you get it. So I don't know if that was based on the collective bargaining agreement,
No, they,
the signing of it prior to, or, I mean, could this have been stated after the signing of the collective
no,
bargaining
they
agreement?
basically misinterpret what was said.
Okay.
They say we haven't had a pay raise in that length of
And
time.
then, in what, 8 to 9 years? Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because that kind of just made my antennas fly up.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, we'll provide that information also. I know that's been a big
Please.
question. When was the last pay raise? You know, we had the bonus one year. We had a couple of COLAs in there, so we'll have the information also for you tomorrow.
And please write it down, Dale.
Yes, sir.
I'm one of those old country boys from the old school. Give me something on them.
We will do it.
on a piece of paper.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes.
On the ordinance, on the bonus, ordinance 20 of this year that was tabled February 25th, when I was trying to get the one-time bonus to the employees from the Community Development Special Revenue Fund, there was a procedure we were going to have to go through, were we not, in getting board members?
The Shreveport Home Mortgage Authority.
Have we appointed those board members?
We should be able to get you all some names, hopefully, here very soon.
Okay, 'cause that's been 6 months.
Hopefully, potentially, as early as tomorrow, potentially, hopefully.
So if we get a board put together rather quickly,
If you get a board put together, then the decision has got to be made what to be done with that $2+ million. Remember, these are dollars that were intended to address housing issues, and there's still a considerable argument to be made by the current members of the board, as well as anybody else who may be appointed.
how many
that those-
current members do we have?
3.
3?
That those dollars still need to be directed towards housing-related issues here in the city. So just because there is a desire, maybe on part of the administration of the council,
Right.
to appropriate those dollars and use them for a bonus, doesn't mean that that's something that would necessarily be agreed to by the board or would actually be allowable or appropriate.
Okay.
Well, we
Mr.
have
Webb,
5 members on the board.
Yes, sir. We have
5
three.
slots.
We have 3 active, 5 slots. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And we also have a meeting. The city attorney and I have a meeting with Wayne Nephew, who's counsel that helped put those type boards together and serves as counsel to those type boards. We're trying to meet with him so that when the new board gets in place, he can help educate them on all the processes and procedures.
Well, if we have
so
3
that they can
members
move
that are
quickly.
active out of 5, that's enough for a quorum, so
Right.
why haven't they had a meeting in the last 6 months?
They have not expressed a willingness to address that issue, Ms. Webb. As you recall, when we talked about it, we actually delivered a letter to them, asking them to consider giving the money and to outline the process for doing it. They simply
Well, if they
have not.
don't want to meet, maybe we ought to replace them.
Well, hence the new appointments that are coming.
Okay.
Will the council have an opportunity to meet with Mr. Wayne Nephew also when he
We
comes
can,
up?
we can arrange that. We'll get with Mr. Thompson and see what kind of time he has, if the council would like.
And we'd like to see the cost of a one-time $1,000 bonus to,
We have
That's
that.
what's in Mr. Webb's legislation.
We have that, and we'll have that for you tomorrow
let's see
also.
let's see what that number is, because I do know.
I think that's what's in Mr.
That's
Webb's
what-
legislation.
That's what I'm talking about, ordinance
Yeah.
20 of this year, we tabled it February the 25th.
Sure did.
But, Mr. Chairman, also, let me mention, obviously, a big part of what we're talking about here are discussions that we have had with you all,
I know.
going all the way back to December of 2010. Every budget cycle, we have discussions about raises and what to do about raises and what have you. And as Dale mentioned, Charles Madden, as finance director, has put together a chart that details raises that have been given to employees, I think, to go all the way back to the 1980s, Mr. Shine. In fact, I think as far back as your first term on the city council.
I mean, you know I'm not that old.
So we'll-
Go pay. Dale, you see that?
We'll-
You see, they know I ain't that old.
So we will be able to detail for you all exactly
Yeah, I'm not.
what those raises have been, what years they've been given, what amounts they've been given in. And in fact, I will say this, it surprised me a bit in terms of what has been done and what has not been done. I think it will be a little bit enlightening. But I will also offer that the 6% number, Mr. Jenkins, that did not come from the administration. It was based upon our discussions with Ms. Johnson and Mr. Savannah on last week in terms of what it is that they wanted to seek and to ask for.
I just want to be certain from her as a union representative that that's exactly where it came from. That's why I was asking, was that their demand? Right.
Right, that we in our discussions with her, the question was, what are the issues? And that was, in terms of the first issue was the request for an across-the-board pay raise of 6%, which we responded we would get the cost of what that would be and provide that to her as well as to the council and to the public in general, so that everyone would be in a position to know exactly what that number represents. But as I said to you all, we have this discussion every fall and up to December about what to do and how we balance all of these various issues and challenges against the city's reserve fund, the staffing levels, level of city services and what have you, and we ultimately end up making the decisions that we think are best, and you all express that, based on the actual votes that end up being put forward. But obviously, we recognize the fact that in many respects, the country as a whole, unfortunately, is dealing with what folks refer to as a new normal. You're seeing employment and other aspects of the economy come back in other sectors. There are two areas that are still substantially different than what they were before the recession. One is the overall level of wages that have remained stagnant, that have not gone up. And the other area is government employment. The millions of jobs that you've seen generated over the last 5+ years have all substantially come from the private sector. The government sector, which cut significant numbers of jobs, which we did here at the city of Shreveport. We cut positions or did not fill positions, since we did not lay anyone off. We ended up basically shrinking through attrition. Those are positions that have not been refilled. And so when we talk about the fact that there used to be a full crew of folks who worked on Clyde Fant Parkway between the Barnwell Center and the Riverview Hall and Festival Plaza, that kept that area completely clean and policed and what have you, Shelley Regal doesn't have those folks anymore.
And the ditch behind my house, that's why I haven't been raising a little H, because I know, and I tell the folks who live over there, we just don't have a city employee.
Right. There are multiple factors that this council and the previous council have factored in and balanced every year leading up to December 15th. And we're in the process of beginning that discussion and dialogue with department heads that will lead to the presentation of that executive budget to the council, and that conversation with you all and the general public. But we are certainly not here not providing raises because we don't want to. We'd like to be able to do them at a much higher level than what they've been. But we also at the same time recognize that we want to be able to maintain the numbers of employees that we do have, so that we can provide a certain level of service and at the same time provide or sustain a reasonable and appropriate fund balance within our reserve fund and try and keep the city on some sound fiscal footing. And so
I understand,
balancing all those things becomes a
I'm
challenge.
asking you to kind of give us something in black and white, because I have people to call me and say, oh, well, Cedric is a good talker, show me something, So to dispel that, because we all good talkers. I told him, look at your preacher, he's a good talker. But
well, the one thing I've not been, Mr. Shine, is a tax raiser.
Well,
and because I haven't been a tax raiser, our revenues have remained level.
I know, but just put it in black and white.
We'll
so,
do it. And
like
look
I
forward
said,
to
when
it.
we talk, because we're a team, and we'll have some information. And I knew the 6% didn't come from you all. If it had come from you all, you'd have had all the information. So I know it comes from the union. So this is why we want you all to do it and put it in black and white, and tomorrow just kind of pass it out. And Mr. Harris is going to get us his information tomorrow, and we'll have the TV cameras down here, and everything will be transparent, because I don't want them to think that we just down here talking. Y'all just do a lot of talking down there. And, we'll have some information that we can show them. We got one more for you, Ms. Johnson.
Actually, my question's for Mr. Sibley.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know we've asked for a lot of information tomorrow. If there is, for lack of a better word, a salary schedule for solid waste workers in particular, where if they start at this rate, if there are any incremental bumps for years of service or anything, it would be helpful to me to see that, because I've heard a lot of numbers tossed about in the media reports and things. If there is a salary schedule that shows that information, I'd like to see that.
And just for the drivers and operators?
Yeah, for right now, that's all.
And get a copy for all of us, Dale. I know you will.
So just to be sure that we're all on the same sheet, we will give the cost per percent of raise for the classified as well as the overall system. We'll give...
And Dale.
Yes, sir.
We especially want it for the that department.
The solid waste.
Yeah, we especially want it.
You want the salary schedule for the drivers and operators in solid waste? We'll give the cost, we'll just recap the cost of a one-time bonus.
Right.
We'll do it in different increments.
All right.
And am I missing anything, Mr. Chairman? or-
Now, you're gonna bring it for the 6%, right?
Yes, we'll do it by percent, so we can do 6, 8, 4.
Yeah, we
Whatever.
just, you know, so we'll have some idea what we're looking at. And so
Okay.
they'll have some idea what they're looking at, yes.
Are you gonna break it out for classified, unclassified, and civil service?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to be sure how you needed it broken down. I'll also just note, there's a group that's hard to quantify. That's a group between classified and, say, department heads. I know we generally want to exclude department heads, but there's a significant number of people who are not in the classified system. MPC, city attorney, clerical folks throughout the organization, that it's kind of hard to catalog those folks. So we'll do
And the
the
other
best we
one
can
too,
to
that I
separate
want,
them
the
out.
guy that comes up to my house and get that trash bag,
Mhm.
I wanna know what he's making.
Oh, we'll have them covered. Yes, sir.
I'm a little bit, you know, maybe I'm wrong, but I see some office workers out there. I'm a little bit more concerned about those guys that work out there in that ice and snow and mud and that 100-degree heat than I am somebody who might be sitting up under air conditioning.
And we'll do civil service also.
Yeah, please.
And Mr. Shine, the
Yes.
council members also want to, and I understand the sentiment towards our solid waste workers. You know, I have a special place in my psyche and heart for them as well, especially having had the chance to spend some time working with them.
That's what I was about to say. I saw you on the back of a truck maybe 20 years ago. I didn't know whether you had gone to work for the city.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But now, I also want to make sure that we all have an understanding and appreciation for the fact that there are lots of hard, nasty, gritty, grimy jobs here in the city of Shreveport.
That's
Just
true,
as-
Mayor.
Just as tough as that garbage collection
That's true.
work is, that guy right now who's out there in a 10-foot hole,
Right.
patching up a sewer main.
That's true, but now for tomorrow, I just wanted from the sanitation, because I think that was the group who went on strike. Now, if those and those other.
But I understand that, have appreciation for that, but I don't want us to not acknowledge the work and the effort and sacrifice of those folks who continue to go to work and do their job.
Man, we're not doing that. That's not my concern at this particular point. Now, the next council meeting, that might be my concern.
Well,
I might ask you
well,
that.
I understand your.
I don't wanna
we-
give you too much
We're
at
going
one
to
time
address
to
your
bring to-
specific concern. I'm saying from an administration standpoint,
I
we're going
agree.
to express our collective concern
I agree.
for all of the folks who have hard, challenging jobs, not just one particular
I feel
specific
for them
subgroup.
too. I mean, that's just like if I go to the doctor, he tells me, he said, Joey, say, you got a mouth full of bad teeth. I said, well, I ain't concerned. I want these two in front fixed. And I get to those when I get to, so that's the same thing. I understand. I'm concerned about, you know, the ones that work in the office too, and the ones that work in the gritty holes. I'm concerned about all of those. But right now, I'm concerned about
Well,
the garbage workers.
We're going to provide specific information regarding garbage, but we're going to
Please.
provide comprehensive information
Please.
that addresses everyone.
That's good.
And any consideration
That's
from the administration perspective is going to be one that has to cover all of those classified folks, not just one particular.
I don't have no
group.
problem with that. I don't have no problem with that. I'm just concerned about sanitation at this point, and then we'll get on. Any more questions
Well,
before we move on?
You end up with a busted sewer main in front of your house, you'll be just as concerned
That's all right.
about the sewer
No,
work
I'm
as you are today about the sanitation work.
I'm gonna raise more hell if it's a busted sewer main, because that's really unhealthy. Now, I know the garbage is unhealthy too, but you know, that's a whole lot unhealthy. But appreciate it, Ms. Johnson. We're gonna look to see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
And we hope that you dress just as nice tomorrow, because you'll be on TV. Thank you very much.
Mr. John,
Uh-huh.
Mr. Johnson, before you take a seat, I know that you heard us talk back and forth and what have you. I want to make sure that you had an opportunity to express everything that you wanted to express
I
to
did.
the council, to the administration
I
today,
did.
as well as what you will obviously be invited to do tomorrow as well.
Thank you.
Ms. Johnson, thank you very
Yes,
much.
sir.
And now make sure you write that down. If you need somebody to help you type, I think B works in the evenings for what is it, $20 an hour? Yeah, that's B right there. Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you.
We'll see you. All right. I think, Mr. Mayor, I want to let, before we get back to you, Jeff is over here hunching me with his elbow on the side. Jeff has somebody that he want to bring up so he can get him to work, because he didn't want him to lose his job.
I appreciate
Jeff, I'll accept
that,
the motion for
Chairman.
suspend the rules.
And if we could, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules so that we can hear an alcoholic beverage.
Okay, it has been moved by
I'm sorry, second.
Jeff,
You wanted to make a
second by Rose McCullough, that we would suspend the rules and bring up, was it?
Perkins.
Yeah, Mr. What is it, Perkins? Perkins. Mr. Perkins, please. I'm sorry, let's vote. Okay. We got Corporal, I'm sorry, Corporal, the Corporal has to come up first.
Afternoon. You can turn to tab number 1. Today we have a renewal application denial for Gigi's Lounge or Martini Room. We had 3 violations. All of them were no ABO card. The first one, Mika Lampton, she was actually a security guard. When they checked her, she didn't have any card on her person. That's what they wrote her for. She actually did not have a card at all. The next one, Dominique Starkley, no ABO card on person. She was charged with that, pled guilty. Again, she did not have a card at all. There was none in the system. The third one's Mr. Davis. He was checked, did not have an ABO card in the system. He went down the next day and actually got one. So out of those 2, 2 of them never did get cards. The one did get a card. We do have 3 violations. That's the only violations we have at this location.
Well, if we could, Mr. Perkins, I'd like to give you an opportunity to tell a little bit, but for the council members, as I understand the situation, Gigi's Martini Room, which has been there for a long time now, and really we don't get a lot of complaints about that particular venue. They had a change in management for a little while, and that happened to be a time when some of these occurred. As I appreciate it, these people are no longer employed there, and the management has changed back to its original management. So I'd like to give Mr. Perkins an opportunity to detail that for us a little bit.
This is something that I didn't know anything about.
Are you the manager, the owner?
I'm the owner of GG's.
Okay.
I'm the owner. I had a manager back last year was running my club. I'm a truck driver. I'm gone all the time. And these violations that I wasn't aware of. Now, one of them I was, the third person, which is Fernandez Davis. I was aware of that one. But those people that was working for me at that time, the club was slow, wasn't no business. I closed the club during in May, and then I reopened it in July. So those people no longer working for me at all, those first 2. So the club is kind of like trying to come back, such and such. These are people just really just got started and da-da-da, but everything is fine.
So what I'd like to suggest is a 6-month probationary period where we allow them to get the renewal of their permit, and if there is an incident within the next 6 months, they will come back to the council.
Okay, that's been moved.
Question.
I'm sorry. At this point, we'll see if anybody got any questions before we. Let me do this. Since we got a motion on the floor and a second. Am I correct? Did I? Yeah, second. Okay, Mike.
Mr. Perkins, you said that you're a truck driver and you're away most of the time. Can you tell the council what precautions you've put into place or what practices you've put into place to be sure that this doesn't happen again?
Right. I have spoken to the manager that I have now, that we're going to make sure that everyone has a ABO card badge attached to them, that when the vice decide they want to walk in, they will see the ABO card on the employee at all times, and also my security, such and such. But I am aware of getting everything in place to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
And that's implemented now, or that's something that you're gonna?
That's something I'm doing now, since I didn't even know I had these violations until I came up to a renewal. So, like I say, the club has been closed and we're just reopening in July. So, I'm kinda like sitting down with my manager, getting everything together, what we need to do as, this month of getting everything together. And this is my first time ever coming in before council, so I'm just, but I never just really been through something like this, so, but I'll straighten it out.
Thank you.
Mr. Perkins, I have a question. This is not about your business. I was old football coach at Booker T, and that was a young man who was a tremendous athlete. Matter of fact, he went to Grambling. Charles Perkins.
That's my first cousin.
Where is he at?
He's in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dale, you see how nosy I am, huh?
Did you get him to Grambling, Mr. Shine?
Yeah, he was a tremendous athlete. At
Oh, yeah.
Played fullback. Next time you hear from me, you tell him you had a chance to see his old coach. I done got gray now messing with those two fellas over there. Now my hair used to look like the mayor until about 4 or 5 years ago, and I got it gray. But tell him I'm holding up pretty good here.
Okay, I
Tell him I
will,
wish
Mr.
him the
Shine.
best of luck, because he was really a nice young man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really a nice young man. All right, all in favor vote yes, opposed is no. All right, passes with a 6-0 vote, one out of the chamber. And,
Did you get me?
Bill, you want to read it back? You might want to read it back to him. What is, did you understand? You got a 6-month probation?
Right.
Okay. Thank you. I hope you had a lot of luck.
Okay. Thank y'all so much.
All right.
Make sure your management is up to date on all the rules.
Yes, sir.
Because if they come through, it's any violation, not just this.
Right.
I know you're a good man.
All right. Thank y'all so much.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's get back to the regular agenda, Mr. Mayor. I think with you again.
Interest of time, Mr. Shine, we will defer anything else till tomorrow.
Now, wait a minute now. Wait, hold it. Now, I can't believe that. Now, if the mayor's gonna do that, Sam, I'm gonna ask the rest of y'all to kind of cut back. I'm just kidding. Come on, Sam.
No, will y'all have Mr. Harris or someone from Public Works and Solid Waste to talk about the implementation of our new rules? That's something I want to talk about. Now, we can do it tomorrow because we've been on something else today, but I don't want to.
You want to do it today, or you want to do it tomorrow, where we know we'll get the maximum exposure in terms of,
Why don't we do
let's
it
do it
tomorrow,
tomorrow.
and the public could benefit from it too? Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate it.
Okay, communications from council members. Now, if the mayor's cut his short, I know we're gonna cut ours short in the interest of time.
I say mine.
Not unless, Ms. Farnell, please. Did I see Judge Jackie come in just a few minutes ago?
Why you got such a funny guy? He was here for a minute.
She's outside. Tell her I forgot. I would have had everybody to stand when the judge came in. We ready, Ms. Farnell. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Farnell? Well, Ms. Farnell, I guess you did an excellent job. You didn't have very many people to ask you anything. All right. Ms. Scott, did you have anything? You gonna pass it on to Dale? Okay, Dale. Okay.
Mr. Shine,
we did
I do have
get-
note on revenue
I did
collection.
get Ms. Scott's report electronically though today.
She did send it electronically.
Well, sometimes people, might be a good talker since Mayor, they say we got a lot of good talkers down here. So we don't want to disappoint anybody. I want to give her a chance.
Councilman Shine,
Yes, ma'am.
I was reminded that I received a letter in mail from Mr. Stone Cipher regarding some information, 3132. Could Attorney Scott, do you know anything about Could you kind of talk to me, because I haven't picked it up, and I guess I'll have to apologize. I understand that I was supposed to respond in 3 days as to what that communication was regarding.
And then Dale will get to you.
Ms. McCullough, a number of council members received letters from Mr. Stonecipher making a request for any information that you may have in your personal custody for information regarding 3132. 3 of the council members, to my knowledge, have responded to Mr. Stonecipher on that, and if you'd like, we can get together after the meeting and talk about, you know, if you have any of the information and how you need to go about providing it to him. This is, if you all recall, a couple of weeks ago, the Finish 3132 Coalition and others made a request to the city for much of the same information that's being asked for in this second request from Mr. Stonecipher. The only difference is now he's sending the request to the council members individually, to some of the council members individually.
So anything I come up with, that's what they want? Because I probably have some in this automobile, some at my mom's house, some at I don't know. Is it anything, it's something in particular that he's looking for?
No, he was very specific in the information that he's looking for, and I don't recall off the top of my head the 3 or 4 items that he's asking for, but I'll be more than happy to talk to you about it after the meeting. But it was the same request to all of the council members, but all of the request has to do with documentation that you have in your personal custody related to 3132, different from the information that the city provided that was generated through the city email system or through the council office.
Okay, well, I'll speak to you after the meeting,
Okay.
because I need to know exactly what that is.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Sibley?
I just want you to know, Mr. Shine, on revenue collection, I sent 2 emails earlier. I want to be sure everyone noted the second email was corrected. The first one had actually June's breakout in terms of the categories. The second one actually has July, so please substitute the second email for the first email, and we can go into the details on tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Public hearing tomorrow. Resolution number 126 of 2014. Mr. Sibley, I can always depend on you to have a very fine and informative report.
And we will do that, Mr. Shine.
You went to one of the best high schools in the state and one of the best universities, so you're well equipped. Mr. Thompson, do we have any legislation to be added tomorrow?
Yes, sir. We have 4 items at this time. One is a resolution suspending the effects of certain provisions of Chapter 10 relative to alcoholic beverages. This one is on the agenda as 141, but some of the necessary language was left out of the title, so we'll ask you to take 141 off and to substitute this as 141A, probably will be the number.
Okay.
The next one relates to 156. Not 156.
155.
Resolution to suspend certain provisions of Chapter 10 relative to alcoholic beverages on September the 13th. And again, this has the same issue, and we will ask you to take one off and just to add this one with the necessary language in it. The fourth one is a resolution authorizing the City of Shreveport to hire professionals in conjunction with the potential current or advanced refunding of any eligible general obligation bonds, water and sewer bonds, and/or other revenue or refunding bonds of the city for the issuance, for the purpose of attaining savings from the city and/or its taxpayers through the issuance of refunding bonds. On your agenda, you also have 2 other resolutions concerning bonds, the issuance of bonds, but this one would be a general resolution to authorize people to look at all of our indebtedness, in essence, and long-term indebtedness, and see if any savings can be attained by refunding any of that. The next one is a resolution authorizing the mayor to dedicate Milam Street between Common Street and Austin Place in honor of James Burton on his 75th birthday. This is just one of those street dedication plaques, and I believe there are 2 others on the agenda already.
Mr. Mayor, I don't know, maybe I'm being a little early, but I believe you have 2 beautiful young ladies out there. I can, Ron, I can say that because we're not on TV, and I know my wife. You know,
Doesn't
my
watch
wife.
the internet?
Yeah, no, she doesn't. She doesn't do
The
it.
iPhone isn't working right now.
Yeah. So.
It's with yours at the shop.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeff just said hers at the shop with mine. Would you like to bring them up at this point?
Absolutely, Mr. Shine.
And introduce us to them and give us a little bit about them and, well, let them say a little bit about.
Young ladies, would you please join us up front, please? And we'll certainly welcome the balance of the team to come and join as well. And I guess Jackie, when she gets back in.
Now, we know about the balance of the team. Got some good fellas there. These 2, again, beautiful ladies, and ladies, y'all excuse me, I can say that when my wife isn't listening. I've gotten to be an old man. I'm not young like Dale over there. I have to be careful about what I say. You know, Dale is still young and handsome, and you know, ain't nothing gonna happen to him. Okay, I'll give y'all an opportunity.
Yes, sir. My name is Charlotte Knight Marshall. I'd like to say good afternoon to all the members of the
I'm
council.
sorry, say that last name again now.
Charlotte Knight Marshall.
Charlotte Knight Marshall.
Yes, sir.
I thought you said that earlier, but I just thought I misunderstood what you said.
No, sir.
Knight Marshall.
Yes, sir. And I'm the principal of TKG and Associates, and this is Janice Davis. She's working with us to work on all your projects to bring them forward as quickly as possible.
And now you're from where?
Originally?
No, I mean, where are you from now? You seem like you might originally be a lieutenant girl, but
No,
where
but
are you now?
I did go to Susbo when it was still Susbo.
Okay.
Yes, sir, and then I finished at Southern in New Orleans.
Beautiful. Hey,
Yes,
lieutenant girl, but now where are you now? Where?
Southern, Mr. Shine.
He's a Southern graduate, and he knew I'm a Grambling graduate, and we, you know, I love him anyway. He's from Mendon, but I just figured he went to the wrong school. He should have got on his bicycle and came on down the road to the Grambling, but I'll forgive him for that. But now, where are you at now? Where's your office?
Well, we have offices, we're based out of Houston.
That's what I want to know.
Yes, sir. And we have offices around the country.
Okay.
Chicago, San Francisco,
Okay.
Kansas City, St. Louis, and we also have one in New York. But we're mainly concentrated from the Midwest all the way down through that straight line down. We've got clients in St. Louis, Kansas City, Chicago.
Okay.
Houston, Dallas.
Non-coastal states.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
Okay.
yeah, we're Texas-based, but we do business from coast to coast. Yes, sir.
Well, Houston is a good city. I don't know whether the mayor knows this or not. I usually tell him all my business, but I got 3 kids down in Houston. I got a daughter who's teaching school down there, and I got a son who's in the University of Houston right now because he works in telecommunications. And then I have another daughter who is a nurse down there. And man, I kind of hate to go down there because Houston is so big.
Well,
I mean, you all are just growing. You know, you all are just growing. Oh, and I forgot to. I got a grandson down there who's in nursing school. And, University of Houston. What is it? The health science system. Because I think Houston is Texas is a little bit different from Louisiana. We got some of these different boards, but I think in Texas it all comes under. All the schools come under the same system. I believe the Texas system. So I kind of got a soft heart toward Houston, so y'all take it easy on me. May I take it easy on me now? I kind of got a soft heart toward Houston. Anybody want to ask them any questions, or is it anything else y'all want to tell us?
Well, I want to acknowledge that I'm a Louisiana girl.
New Orleans born and bred, so Shreveport is part of my great state, and I love it. I don't live here now, but home is always home.
Thank you. We just, Mayor, we're glad to have somebody from Louisiana. We hate to spend a lot of money with a lot of folks from somewhere else that have no Louisiana ties. And matter of fact, we're gonna call you homegirl in Shreveport. Yeah, we're gonna, and man, I don't know about the others, but I appreciate you having that kind of look. Anybody got any questions that they want to ask these fine ladies? If
Thank
not,
you very much.
we're gonna be looking to work with you all, and Mayor, we're gonna kind of be looking to kind of meet them and sit down and talk with them one-on-one and get a little bit more familiar, because, you know, spending that kind of money, you want to know who you're spending it with.
Yes, sir. We're
And
ready.
what you all are doing is very important for the growth and ongoing of this city. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Council.
Now, Mr. Mayor, did you want to bring the other three fine gentlemen up? I think we know them already.
Well, I think there's one thing that we'll be sharing with the council in writing, but I think Bill and Shantae and Alex want to be able to express it, I think, on the record with regard to upfront clarification from a billing standpoint. So, Bill, if you will.
I'm not really sure. I apologize, Bill Bowles Law Firm. I don't know. We're talking about all the, we have several resolutions today, but they basically relate to the 75 million that we had a resolution introduced previously, the 75 million new water and sewer revenue bonds. The GO, the last part of the GO, the 2011 GO, that's 93 million and change. And then we're also looking at other opportunities, and the reason we're here today for all of these is simply to put together professional groups to move forward, explore how we're doing everything with respect to other opportunities, but we're moving forward. You're going to be asked to consider tomorrow to finally adopt the resolution hiring us and to go to the bond commission. We needed that to be final because that's the pressing one with the bond commission. We already have bond commission with respect to the GO. So we'll be on the September agenda for the 75 million to be considered at the bond commission. And then we're also going to be looking at exploring, and Ms. Knight Marshall can talk to you about what we're doing later on, and Janice can, about the other opportunities. But really, everything here boils down to we're selecting professional groups, but it's important that you know that all of these resolutions, every one of them that you're considering, talk about later approval by you all of all the fees. You'll be copied with all the filings at the bond commission. We'll do it at that time. We'll be available to answer any questions about it. All those are not to exceed amounts, but it's important to know that what we're asking you to do is engage this group. The ones that they can talk more about the different underwriters. All of these we're talking about doing all of them negotiated because timing the market. And we'll come back to you, and then you'll look at all the fees, and then you'll actually approve every fee, not to exceed amounts, for every professional, me, Ms. Knight Marshall, all of us. And that'll be done at each time before we issue debt. We might actually not issue some refunding debt, but we're definitely doing the 75 million water and sewer. We're definitely doing the GO. Those are moving forward on a very rapid track, but you all will, these will all be transparent to you, and you'll see who's on the team and who's getting paid what, and you will actually, when we do the bond ordinance, that'll be a section in the bond ordinance for you to approve. So,
please do, Bill, because when I take my old car out to get it fixed, I let them know, itemize everything. Don't do nothing until you call me and let me know that I found out that there's something wrong with this and I'm going to have to add this on. Don't go on and do it and then just present me with a bill. And if you don't have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, if you don't itemize everything, I don't want to pay. So I appreciate what you're doing to make sure that you dot all I's and cross all T's and This is really how you do business, especially when you got that kind of money involved. And Shanti, I might take my own car to get it fixed. It might not be no more than $150. But I still want them to itemize. Did you put plugs in there? Did you put a new battery in there? Did you do this? Did you do that? So I appreciate it. You've done a fine job, but that's what we will be looking from you all, to just itemize everything. Anybody got any questions for them before they sit down? Not? Bill, thank you. And you're working with two fine gentlemen now.
So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. I hope they go to church on Sundays. I don't know though. All right. Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind, we're gonna get back in the regular agenda. Public comments, do we have any? Jackie B. Nobody? Okay.
Didn't you have something? Did you fill out a card, sir? Did you turn it in?
What is it that, I mean, what is it?
He had a property standards issue, and I told him that Stan Harris would be here. Miss Farnell and I both spoke with him, and I asked him to turn that in. I guess he forgot, and I was expecting him to come up.
Okay, it's on the agenda today?
Well, it's a property standards issue that he wanted to report.
Really and truly, this is not the time. Right, this is Ms. McCullough, this is not the time. It is Jimmy Frierson. Where's Jimmy?
That's him.
Doggone it, Jimmy. I taught you. Jimmy, you look so well. I didn't even recognize you. I was looking for you to kind of look as old as the mayor over there. But Jimmy, you look well. Jimmy, this is really not the time.
Are you related to Cedric Frierson? Okay. Yeah.
After this, Jimmy, we'll get you. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
And Councilwoman McCullough, if in the meantime, Ms. Froston, if it will help, we can go ahead and have Ms. Farnell to connect with you while we're waiting to the appropriate point
No,
on the
Mr.
agenda.
Stan Harris. He's spoken with Ms. Farnell already.
Okay, Mr. Harris then.
We were looking for Mr. Harris.
Is Mr.
There he is
Harris,
in the
if
blue
you
shirt back there.
Want to visit with Mr. Froston, so by the time the council is ready, that we'll have some ideas to what might be
He might
possible.
not need to come before the council if he speaks to Stan.
Jimmy, it's so good to see you here. I think the last time you saw me, Dale, we might have been over at Lanier, right?
Correct.
Yeah, might have been over at Lanier.
Mr. Chairman?
Now, wait, hold on 1 minute.
Mr. Froston?
Jimmy, just 1 minute.
Cedric, your brother or cousin?
Brother.
Cedric Froston was quarterback of the Green Oaks Giants in 1979 when they won the district championship for the first time.
Right.
Beat Captain Tree for the first time, made the playoffs for the first time, winning record for the first time. So, and his brother's quarterback victory over Captain Tree with a last-minute field goal from Donald Junkyard Myers is ranked by Jerry Bird as one of the top 10 football games ever played in Northwest Louisiana. So, tell him I said hello from old number 60.
I remember all that. I remember even when they was in junior high school. And because now, Jimmy, I was prettier then. I didn't have all this gray hair. Like I said, been down here messing with Cedric and Dale over there. Got this gray hair. Dale, I'm going to get some and tint this stuff back the way it was. And Cedric. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Wildcats.
But now, Jimmy, I didn't mention that because these two over here wasn't hardly born at that time. So, you know, me and you understand. Thank you, Jimmy.
Sean?
I mean, I didn't want to mention it because I might indicate my age.
Sean, on the hair tip, yours just turned gray, and unfortunately, Dale lost his.
That's true. So I don't feel too bad. Dale, I don't feel too bad.
So the tint may
turned
work.
mine gray. Yeah.
Tint may work for
Look
him.
here.
I'm a hard man.
That's right. That's right. Cedric turned mine gray, and you lost all yours. So I don't feel too bad. I don't feel too bad. Okay, Dale, we in your hands, right?
There are no confirmations and appointments. We're now into Section 8 consent agenda legislation. No items on introduction, but one item on adoption. Resolution 130 authorizes David Kavanaugh and Donna Kavanaugh located at 1830 Leonard Road to connect to the water and sewer system of the city of Shreveport.
Where's Mike? Mike just stepped out, but I don't, Jeff, did he leave anything with you?
I haven't heard from anybody
Okay.
about this, but,
All right, let's move on then.
Section 9, regular agenda legislation, Sub A, resolutions on second reading and final passage, or which will require only one reading. Number 123 declares the intention of the city of Shreveport to proceed with the issuance of not to exceed $75 million water and sewer bonds in one or more series for the purpose of financing the cost of acquisition and construction of improvements, extensions, and replacements to the water and sewer utility system of the city, make an application to the Louisiana State Bond Commission for approval of such bonds, and otherwise providing with respect thereto. This matter was previously postponed on July 22nd, 2014.
Any questions, comments from, hey, look like we've lost somebody. Dale, when you started
Good
reading,
quorum,
like
man.
it ran out. Okay.
we're unofficial.
Oh, there's Mr. Corbin.
Okay, go ahead on.
Resolution 124 authorizes the mayor to execute a donation agreement between the city of Shreveport and Wallace Lake Development LLC for the private water and sewer main extensions and related facilities to serve St. Andrews Subdivision Unit Number 1.
Mike, any comments?
Nope, I'm good with it.
All right.
Number 125 recommends endorsement and adoption of the Regional Food System Master Plan prepared by We Grow Together for establishing a healthy regional food system.
Art, you got any questions on that?
No, sir.
Okay, you're a good nutritional man.
Number 126 states the City of Shreveport's endorsement of Shreveport CV Housing LLC to participate in the benefits of the Louisiana Restoration Tax Abatement Program. This matter is subject to the public hearing on tomorrow, August 12th.
Any questions? If not, let's move on, please.
Resolution 131 suspends the effects of certain provisions of Chapter 10 and Chapter 106 of the City of Shreveport Code of Ordinances on Saturday, September 20th, 2014, in connection with fundraising efforts by Shreveport Moose Lodge number 2239.
Any questions?
And this is not in Councilman Everson's district.
That's a new.
No, just most of those.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
I was giving them a break.
There you go. All right, let's
did a
move
lot
on,
of 'em.
Dale.
Resolution 132 declares the city's interest in certain adjudicated property as surplus regarding districts A, B, D, F, and G.
Any questions? Sam? Not, let's move on.
Number 133 declares the city's interest in certain adjudicated properties as surplus. This is districts F and G.
Sam? Sam usually helps me take care of mine, Dale. All right, go ahead.
Number 134 declares the certain adjudicated property to be surplus, which will authorize the mayor to sell the city of Shreveport's tax interest in these adjudicated properties. This is regarding districts A, B, C, and F.
Rose, Jeff,
I'm good with it.
let's roll.
Number 135 suspends the effects of certain provisions of Chapter 10 relative to alcoholic beverages, relative to dispensing, sale, and/or consumption of low alcoholic content beverages for the 11th Annual Highland Jazz and Blues Festival located
Yeah.
at 600 Columbia Street.
This is the one where we're gonna have to remove it and replace it with the 135A. And same with, there's another one a couple down the road that's similar.
All right, that's good. Let's roll on.
Number 136 suspends the effect of certain provisions of Chapter 10 and Chapter 106 relative to James Burton International Guitar Festival.
It's another event in happening District B where there are several more of these.
All
What
right.
happened?
Yeah, I think they,
Number
I think they had
137.
him on Huckabee the other night.
Yeah.
And that's one program that I enjoy watching.
Well.
I'm a Fox News watcher.
He performed there right at the end.
Sure did. Sure did. They had old Huckabee playing with him.
The bass.
Sure did. All right. You see, Art, I got somebody else who enjoy watching Fox
I'm about to
News.
say, I see the
I
parents
knew it was
tuning in-
something.
Tuning in to Fox News.
Right.
also.
I knew it was
mother-in-law
something
enjoys it
that
as
Cedric
well.
and I had in common.
I watch MSNBC, Fox, and CNN. I watch
All
them
right.
Information junkie.
There you go. That's me. I want to see what's going on. Although it kind of makes me a little scared to go anywhere. But I still watch it. Okay, let's roll on, Dale.
Resolution 137 suspends the effect of certain provisions of Chapter 10 and 106 relative to the Louisiana Film Prize Festival.
Any questions? If not, let's roll on.
Number 138 suspends the effect relative to free Fridays.
Any questions? All right, let's move, Dale.
Number 139 suspends the effects relative to Summerfest.
Any questions? If not, let's move.
Number 140 suspends the effect of certain provisions of Chapter 10 and Chapter 106 relative to zoning for property located at Stoner Boat Launch for the annual Turkey Trot on November 27, 2014.
Hey, that ought to be interesting. Any questions? Let's move on.
Number 141 suspends certain provisions of Chapter 10 relative to alcoholic beverages on September 13, 2014, relative to dispensing, sale, and/or consumption of alcoholic beverages at Shreveport Riverview Park for the Shreveport Downtown Rotary Club's Red River Dragon Boat Festival.
And this is another one we'll have to remove and replace with the substitute.
Okay, come out and see the mayor. All right, let's move on.
Resolution 142 authorizes the mayor to dedicate the 100 through 1100 blocks of Allen Avenue in honor of Dr. C.O. Simpkins, DDS.
Oh, that's gonna be so nice. All right, let's move on.
Resolution 143 authorizes the mayor to dedicate Mervon Street between Joella and Broadway Avenue in honor of Mr. Jerry Bowman.
Oh, let's get ready. Now, I'm told that's a one reader, both of these, right? And we'll take care of these tomorrow. Now,
Jerry wanted to know if he needs to show up tomorrow, Jerry Jr.
I done told him, I don't know how he forgot it.
Okay.
You gonna have Dr. Simpkins down here?
I mean, I can.
Well,
will.
It'll be good, I mean, but if you don't, I mean, we're
I
gonna pass
will.
it anyway.
I will.
Well, remember, you're also going to have the opportunity for us to be able to do the installation as well, so.
Right.
Well, we actually have the signs and we're putting them in.
Yeah, right, we do it. I mean, you haven't put them in, you have.
No, we won't put them in until after the action, so.
There you go.
If you want them to come tomorrow, or you want them to come to both, whichever, but
Yeah,
certainly
come-
when we
yeah.
have them where we're actually installing them is where we want to make sure that they are.
Yeah,
in
well, we
attendance.
Jerry's gonna be down here
We
tomorrow.
can do both.
Yeah, you can have Doctor down here if you want to.
And then do the,
That would be good.
okay.
Because we're not gonna have any pushback from Dale, so it's gonna pass. All right.
Section B is introduction of resolutions not to be adopted prior to August 26, 2014. Number 144 authorizes the employment of special legal counsel to represent the city of Shreveport.
Any questions? Not Dale, let's move.
145 authorizes the use of certain city-owned equipment by the Junior League of Shreveport-Bossier.
Any questions? If not, let's move.
146 authorizes the use of certain equipment by the North Shreveport Business Association.
Any questions? If not, Dale, let's move.
147 authorizes the use of certain equipment by Sports Spectrum Race Management.
Any questions? If not, let's move, Dale.
148 authorizes the use of certain equipment by the Department of the Air Force, Barksdale Air Force Base.
Any question? Not, let's move.
Number 149 authorizes the execution of a cooperative endeavor agreement with Get Up Incorporated.
Any questions? If not, let's move.
150 authorizes the mayor to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with the Rotary Club.
Any questions? If not, let's move.
151 authorizes the use of certain equipment by the Highland Area Partnership Incorporated.
If not, let's roll.
152 authorizes the use of certain equipment by the Susan G. Coleman Race for the Cure.
If not, let's move.
Resolution 153 authorizes the city of Shreveport to hire professionals in conjunction with the issuance of not to exceed $93,500 general obligation bonds, Series 2014, for the purposes set forth in the propositions approved in an election held on April 2nd, 2011.
I think we've heard. Let's move.
154 authorizes the city of Shreveport to hire professionals in conjunction with the issuance of not to exceed $75 million water and sewer revenue bonds in one or more series for the purpose of financing the cost of acquisition and construction of improvements, extensions, and replacements to the water and sewer utility system of the city.
If no more questions, they will be back tomorrow too, right? In case
Yes.
something.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In case,
Shiner, that was the one that was added to A resolution authorizing the city to hire professionals in conjunction with the potential current or advanced refunding of any eligible general obligation bonds, water and sewer bonds, and/or other revenue or refunding bonds of the city.
Okay, thank you.
Mr.
Dale?
Chairman, if it's okay, we can go ahead and release these guys, and they'll be back tomorrow if you don't think you'll need them anymore today.
Okay, I hope they've enjoyed being here. If y'all enjoyed being here with us? Okay, well, we appreciate it. We don't like for things to be dull around here. You know, if you go across the river, or maybe down to Baton Rouge, it gets a little dull, but, you know, we try to keep it going right here. Thank y'all for coming here, and look to see y'all tomorrow.
Section C, Mr. Chairman, is introduction of ordinances not to be adopted prior to August 26, 2014. Ordinance 78 amends and reenacts portions of Article 11, Chapter 42 of the Code of Ordinances relative to street performers.
Any questions? If not, Ms. Roll.
Number 79 amends the 2014 general fund budget. This is regarding engineering with some internal movement of monies, no additional monies to their budget.
Any questions? If not, let's roll.
Ordinance 80 amends the 2014 capital improvements budget, authorizing the funds authorized therein, appropriating the funds authorized therein. This is regarding the C.C. Antoine Park extension as a part of the Choice Neighborhoods project.
Any questions? If not, let's roll.
Ordinance 81 amends the 2014 budget for the general fund. This is regarding some remodeling at the city courts building, and it is being taken out of their discretionary monies.
Any questions? If not, let's roll.
Section D is ordinances on second reading and final passage. Number 70 declares the city's interest in certain vacant lots as surplus and our intention to donate certain vacant lots acquired by community development for Phase 3 of Concordia Place development to Fuller Center for Housing of Northwest Louisiana and to otherwise provide with respect thereto. This item is eligible to be adopted tomorrow.
Any questions? If not, let's roll.
Ordinance
I'm
70
sorry, Dale, at this point. Tomorrow, Mr. Mayor, I'm gonna tell Oliver that we moved along real fast because we didn't have anybody who doubted you all. Dale, I'm sorry, let's move.
Ordinance 72 declares the city's interest in certain vacant property as surplus and our intention to donate certain vacant property acquired by community development via foreclosure to Hope for the Homeless Incorporated. This matter is also eligible to be adopted tomorrow.
Any questions? If not, let's move.
Ordinance 73 amends the 2014 capital improvements budget. This is regarding 8 existing utility projects, closing some, opening some, basically moving monies around internally.
Any questions? If not, let's move.
Ordinance 75A amends Chapter 106 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Shreveport zoning ordinance by rezoning property located on the northeast corner of Knight Street and East Preston Avenue, Shreveport, Caddo Parish, from RA Residence Agriculture District to B2 Neighborhood Business District with MPC approval of the Health Studio, Athletic Club, and Gymnasium.
Any questions? If not, let's move.
Ordinance 76 amends the 2014 capital improvements budget. This is regarding the minor arterial asphalt program, Phase 2.
Any questions? If not, let's move.
Ordinance 77 amends the 2014 Street Special Revenue Fund budget. That is the companion to the minor arterial asphalt Phase 2 program.
Any questions? If not, let's move.
And that concludes all the scheduled legislation, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Dale, you did a fine job. Mr. Thompson, let's see if you can keep up with Dale. Dale, you were so smooth.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not aware of any table legislation to come off of the table.
Okay, and I know if any council members had some observations, they'd make them at this point. Okay,
So we're now under property standards.
standards appeal. Where's Miss Farnell? Walking mighty fast there. You must have something on your mind.
Well, I'm trying to make sure I don't waste a lot of time, Mr. Shine.
Okay.
Good afternoon. I have My first property is in Councilman Sam Jenkins' area. The owner is present.
Would you have me come up? Or her to come up? Or them to
3640
come
Del
up?
Rio.
3640 Del Rio. He was here a few minutes ago.
Anybody here?
Ms. Scott's checking for him, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
This first one,
Sam, you didn't scare him off, did you?
I hope not.
Okay, well, let's go to the
I'll
second.
go on, well, the second one is his also.
Well, let's go to the third one.
Okay, the third one is yours, Mr. Shine. It's 730 Union Street. The owner we have complete compliance, and we are requesting that that case be closed based on
moved.
complete compliance.
Been moved by the chair, second by Councilman Sam Jenkins. All in favor, vote yes. Opposed, no. This case has been closed with a 6-0 vote, one out of the chamber.
I'm sorry, Ms. McCullough, Mr. Shine, try it again.
All right, now, there you go. Okay, what's the next one?
The next case is 2219 Hawkins Street. Unsure if the owner is present. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
This case was for a demolition rehab. The owner still needs to repair the rotted exterior walls and deteriorating roof. It's been painted, but the rotten wood has not been replaced. Also,
What hasn't been replaced?
The rotten wood.
the rotten wood, the rafters, or the roof, or the rotted exterior walls. That has not been replaced.
All right, just 1 minute, just 1 minute.
And there has not been a permit issued also for this structure, and there needs to be one.
Well, she'll probably pick up a permit after.
Okay.
Okay, so far we
It wouldn't
did
come
the...
up and speak.
So far, the house has been jacked up. In order to do the roof, it had to be jacked up. So that's been done. As far as the deteriorated wood, the rotten wood, it has been removed. The rafters has been replaced today at 10 o'clock this morning. So what's left is the deteriorated walls and the roof.
Okay, now you're working on that.
Yes. I've got some
So
that
how
I need
much-
to show you because we still have some now.
Yeah, the side and the, yeah, that's correct. So that has to be done, but it had to be jacked up, so they didn't replace it yet.
No, that has not been done. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
So I
this
need all
part.
of
Okay.
that.
Oh, yeah,
What
that's
I'm
fine.
talking about has not been done. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying. I'll show you.
So, Ms. Stills, how much more time you think you need to?
Weather permitting with the jacking up of the house, you know, it had been raining so much, they wanted to let the ground dry up. So probably about, I would say, another 45 days,
60 days.
60.
For 60 days.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved by Councilwoman McCullough and second by Councilman Sam Jenkins that we would give this young lady 60 days.
And let me say again that she will need to get a permit.
I'm sorry.
You must
Let me-
get a permit.
listen, all in
Okay.
favor, vote yes. Opposed is no. Let's vote on it first.
Chairman, who made the motion and who seconded?
Uh,
I did.
McCullough,
So her city councilman.
McCullough, and Jenkins.
See this?
Samuel Jenkins.
That would be me.
Ms. McCullough, try you in again. How is that? Mr. Chairman, it's a 6-0 vote. These postponed for 60 days.
Yeah.
So she needs to get a permit, Ms. Farnell?
She needs to get a permit to replace the roof, to replace the rotted exterior walls. She needs to get a permit to do everything except the paint and the floors. So you will, and right now you're working without one. So you need to get that, okay?
And she'll do that tomorrow.
And, Ms. Farnell, that was the wrong date, I'm sorry, it was October 13th.
Okay.
Bill, you must have the same kind of calendar that Art has. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Thank you, Ms. Stevens.
Thank you, guys.
Like your bag.
Thank you.
Tell her you'll get her one for Christmas.
Birthday is this month, now, I take it early.
Sam?
Bill's gonna take you out to lunch.
Wait a minute, Art.
Oh, yeah, okay, well, I'll
Wait a
take
minute,
that.
wait a minute, Art. Now, you always talking out of
you, Art.
turn. You didn't get
You're a
permission from the
wonderful
chair.
clerk, Art.
Jackie, you see that? He didn't get permission from the chair. Nobody recognized him. Man, I believe you've done something to Art. Art just talk all out of turn. Okay, is that it?
Mr. Williams has not returned to the chambers.
Was he here?
That was for 3640 Del Rio Street. Yes, he was here. He left the chambers, but he has not returned, and he has 2 cases.
Jeff, is that in your area?
So, Mr. Jenkins, shall I proceed?
Oh, that's in Sam. Sam, what you want to do?
Do you have some recommendations on it?
Yes, sir, I do.
What's your recommendation?
For the first case, 3640 Del Rio Street, he needed 60 days to complete. He is making a lot of progress on that property, and I have no problem in giving him the 60 days.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman Jenkins, second by Councilwoman Rose McCullough. That we would give him 60 days. Any questions or discussion? If not, all in favor vote yes, opposed is no. With a 6-0 vote, he's gotten 60 days. All right, you want to go with the next one?
The next case is, again, for Councilman Sam Jenkins. It's the same address, 3640 Del Rio Street. This is a care premise.
It's a what?
A care premise, trash, debris.
Okay.
The previous order has stated that he was to maintain this property free of any care premise violation. In the last 2 months, he not only has this trash that was there previously, but he's accumulated more. And what I recommended, which I told him that I was going to do, was request a 10 days, ask that the care premise be abated by the owner within 10 days, if not by the owner, by city forces, and the owner will be responsible for the payment of all costs incurred by the city and having the work performed, plus an administrative cost of $150.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman Sam Jenkins, second by Councilwoman Rose McCullough. Let's vote. Legislation passes with a 6-0 vote, one out of the chamber. In flight from New York City.
The lady in red.
Those are all the cases I have.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Shannon, I believe the only other appeal we have on the agenda is a taxi appeal. The appellant is Mr. Louis Relaford, but he called the office on Friday. Is he present? Were you here? You changed your mind? Okay.
Come on up, my man.
Mr. Shannon, I don't believe that the police department is here because we got the call from him saying that he had changed his mind and he was withdrawing the appeal.
Well, since he came down, we'll let him say a word or two.
But we don't have the officer here with the case.
Who do you
I
need?
know we're not gonna rule on it, but
Taxi appeal.
is he outside?
Chief may be here.
Chief Willis, can you find out, or Captain Willis, can you find out
What's the guy's
where the
name?
chief is?
He was
Huddleston
out there earlier.
or Shaw?
Hey, Jim.
Not on taxi.
Got a taxi appeal, chief, that we send that person home, or we prepared to
Taxi appeal.
Yeah,
We have no one here today for the taxi appeal,
okay,
and was unaware of that. But tomorrow we'll have someone here.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chief, before you go to sleep, since he did come down, and we can't rule on your case, but did you have anything you want to say?
No, I can wait till tomorrow.
That's fine.
Yeah, we'll get Guy Demeray down here tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, a guy called the office and we told him that it was going to be withdrawn and that's why he's not here.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
That's why he's
Chief,
not here.
I just didn't want him to be angry with you and I.
Oh, that's
Nobody
fine.
tell him
We-
folks
we-
that
we
he
good.
came down here and me and you wouldn't let him say nothing.
No.
Motion postponed till tomorrow?
All right.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Webb and seconded by Councilman Jenkins that we postpone it for tomorrow and we'll be ready. Thank you.
All right. Same time, 3 o'clock?
Same time.
Yes, sir.
All right, same time, same place. All right. Mr. Thompson,
Sharon, I'm not aware of anything else.
I'm not either. I'm not aware of anything either. If there's nothing else, Mr. Sibley, I'll be looking to get that time tomorrow, and if you got a camera on Mr. Harris, y'all can come make some pictures.
And did you say you wanted to do that on Thursday, Mr.
Yeah, Thursday.
I'll get with Stan, we'll coordinate a time.
Yeah, find out what time, and I'll be standing out in my yard waiting on you. And if you don't know where I live, or, I'm sorry, Jimmy.
Yes.
Come forward, please. If you don't know where I live, Art can tell you. Art comes through the hood. Now, he doesn't stay over there. Ron, I want you to know.
I pass through there all the time.
You do? All right, well, Ron know where I live. Now, Art will pass through there, but he won't stop. I don't know whether he's afraid somebody might scratch his car up or do something to him over there, but Art, I know all those boys. I'm not going to let them bother you.
Okay.
Most of them are my boys anyway. I train those boys. So, Jimmy,
Yes.
please give us your name and your address and
Okay.
tell us what it is.
My name is Jimmy Frierson. I live at 2130 North Hearn Avenue, apartment 501, and I go to church with Greater St. Mary Baptist Church. Pastor Mickle is our pastor.
Okay.
And while we was just on the David Range Road, and some of our members had expressed a concern about the city trucks coming down David Range Road and going to the end of David Range Road, and these trucks was filled with trash, wood, and other debris. And I spoke to Mr. Stan, and he...
Dan, you want to come up and make a statement on that when Jimmy gets there?
You know, that's past where Charlie Jefferson used to live, Councilman Town.
Yeah, I know.
The dead ends.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And
Jimmy,
this is...
I used to run up and down a couple road there, because there back during that time, you know, you could go and get students and bring them to school and take them home and all that kind of stuff. And Jimmy can't do that no more. You can't do in the school system what we could do with you all. You know, and we could sit around and talk with Jimmy and them during lunch hours and whatever. You know, you sit around there and talk with them now. They think they're grown as you are. So you can't do that anymore. But Jimmy, it's so good to see you.
All right, that is
So good to see you. I
Anyway,
can't continue.
Through the concern with some of our members at church and other person that live on David Range Road, there was concern that a lot of dumping was being done illegally down there. And we had 2 or 3 members that identified the trucks as the city of Shreveport trucks, and all along with the cloth that they had up on the truck. And the trucks would go down David Range Road, and it would be empty, and then come back up through that. And I observed that one time, 'cause I was over there help fixing the computer, and I saw all these trucks coming down, and I was wondering where they were going, because I knew it was a dead end down there, you know. But then when they came back empty, and then I immediately voiced a concern to, say, some of the members in the neighborhood and everything. They said, oh, this been going on, you know, and everything. But I've been assured by Mr. Stan that he's going to investigate that thoroughly for tomorrow and come up with some particular answer to us. And he has told us to, you know, take our cameras and any other thing, but, you know, don't approach them and take pictures of it and make time and notation of whenever we see that this particular problem going on. But this is a great concern to us because we don't want another, say, dump site so in our area, especially that close and everything.
Because you got one over there already.
Yeah.
On fire. And if if you get another one, Councilwoman McCullough's gonna go over there and put that out.
Yeah, we don't need any more dumps or landfills at all over there.
Right.
So I don't guess they're trying to relocate the landfill. That's what that sounds like.
The citizens indicated they were white trucks with a city emblem on them.
Okay.
They said that one was what appears to be like a backhoe truck, a backhoe vehicle. And another one was a truck that had a big water tank on it.
Wow, okay.
And another one was a truck that had some, just full of tree limbs and branches. So I'll go over there tomorrow and take a look at it and see, we actually drive down into it. I'll bring a couple of our staff with me to see if we can see if there's been some dumping down there. We can tell by the debris that's there, probably who's been doing it, so.
Please, Stan.
Okay.
Mayor, you want to comment?
Mr. Farson? Yes. You need to come back to the mic to get it on the record. You're talking about the northern end of David Range Road?
That's Charlotte Jefferson, huh?
If you take a right on Martin Luther King, right by Newsville High School.
I'm from Cook Road, so we
Okay.
talking David Range?
Right.
Yes,
Right.
On the past Terry Street and
past Terry, past Fifth Street, past Sixth, past 7. You know that at 7th Street is a dead end. That's with trees and woods and everything. Now I googled that area once. I was concerned about that, and I found that the road has been widened out considerably. Because first it was just a little trail, but when you Google Earth, you can see where the road had been well used in the last month or two.
It's also blocked off now, isn't it?
It was.
It not block off now.
You can keep driving, because I used to hunt back up in there.
Yeah, you can keep driving all the way through it. Now the road is it's almost like a gravel field road, but seemed like it had been, say, level off a little while.
Okay. And did anybody travel down it far enough to be able to see what had been done?
Yeah, one of our members, being very inquisitive, when she saw the truck going down there, she followed him past 7th Street, but then she wouldn't, go back in the woods and everything, because she was by herself and everything like that. But they did, leave the paved ground and got on the dirt road and went on back into the woods, per se. And then when they came out empty.
Okay. All right. Well, Stan, you'll go by tomorrow, but I'll go by today.
And just tell her, I have been guilty of sighting trucks still in timber in the neighborhood. Back during the time I was serving on the council.
Yeah.
And I was actually able to catch them
mean
at
the commission?
Yeah, I'm sorry, the Caddo Parish Commission.
Yes.
I was actually able to catch them at 6:30 and 7 o'clock in the morning as soon as the sun came out.
Right.
So that's why I asked you earlier, were you able to get any license numbers or anything? Sometimes if you look at the vehicles and you can get license numbers off of those vehicles and just write them down. That would have helped out a whole lot. But tell the young lady, once she sees those, I'm only less than 5 minutes away. Just call me and I'll meet them over there.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
Also, we've been notified, the police department told us that, said that whenever we do see them going down again, to give them a call.
Right.
And they're going to come down and, investigate that thoroughly. And when I saw, at first I thought they were just going to go down and pick up some trash, on that part of the street. And while waiting for the repairman, then when I saw them coming out empty, it raised a very concern, about where they've been and where they have dumped their particular items that was on the trucks.
Now, was that a city public works truck, or was it a state public works truck, or a parish public works truck? Are you sure it was a city public works
So
truck?
white trucks, and the young lady, as she described them, they had the emblem of Shreveport Public Work on them.
Well, I mean, but it could have, you see what I'm saying?
We'll find out.
Okay.
Yeah, right. We do, Jimmy, we'll find out, because it might be the same way Ron. They swore Ron Webb was, Ron, you remember that?
I swear I was unlocking that gate.
Yeah, unlocking it and dumping the trash. And there was somebody else. But Jimmy, we'll check it out, because the mayor's going to get down there this evening. And Stan going to check it out.
All right.
And Rose will be within a
I'm
call.
less than 5 minutes away. If you call me,
Yeah.
I'll just
Yeah.
jump and get up.
Get your lawn chair and
With
put
my
it there and
red
sit
rag
wait
on
it.
my head.
Yeah, get
I
your,
come on
get your
just like
yard
that,
chair
you
and sit
know,
on it.
in my hood outfit.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
the mayor
my
be down
PJs
there.
on.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the mayor be down there.
All right.
Jimmy, thank you. And
All right, then I want to thank the
And
counselor
we'll be on
for
top of it.
affording me the opportunity to come before you all to speak. Thank you very much.
Well, Jimmy, you've always been a nice young man. I mean,
Thank you very much.
even back in junior high school,
All right.
you always a wonderful person. What do you do now, Jimmy? I have you retired.
I retired. I, finished from Grambling, graduated in chemistry, and went over the world at college.
Doggone it, Jimmy, say that again.
Finished at Grambling, graduated in chemistry, and worked all around the world, and now I'm home to stay.
Jimmy, good. It's just so good to have you. Look, y'all get Jimmy's phone number. Man, this is the kind of grassroots person that we need on some of these boards. Jimmy was always smart, and Dale, he could run a little bit.
Oh yes.
He could run a little bit back in. Of course, he can't do it now. You see all that weight he done put on. He put back. But Jimmy's so good to
Those
have
are
you
glorious
home.
days.
That's right. And man, we got to get him involved in something. Because Jimmy was always smart. You were always smart, Jimmy. All right. Jimmy, you got a family? You got any kids, anything?
Yes, I have two sons. One is in Canton, Mississippi, the other in Houston, Texas.
Jimmy, are they smart like you?
Yes, and my grandkids, they're
Really?
learning the books and everything too.
Well, if they take out their granddaddy, they're going to be smart.
Yeah.
Very smart. Jimmy, so good to see you here.
All right, then.
And man, we're going to get him involved in something.
Absolutely.
Right.
All right, then.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
Jimmy.
Thank you for coming.
All right. Arthur Thompson. He didn't go to Southern. He went to Grambling. Yeah.
It's on that page right there. On that
Sam.
Sam, I hear
Man,
you.
man, did you hear Sam
I
over
hear
here?
What's that? What?
I told Art, I said, nah, he went to Grambling, he didn't go to Southern. And Sam said, well, we're gonna send some more of them trucks up there.
Uh-huh. Busted.
You know.
Busted.
Now, you know, that's supposed to be your friend too. Sam's supposed to be your friend.
That wasn't on the record, was it?
Yeah.
Guess I'm gonna have to barricade Curtis Lane tonight.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, there you go. Now you know you got the authority to do it for public safety reasons. There you go. There you go.
That's not with the K, that's
That's
with the
right.
C.
Public safety, yes. It's saying that Sam, you're a mess. And you're supposed to be a good Christian. Okay, meeting's adjourned. Thank y'all.
Soft-spoken Sam, he wasn't that soft-spoken, was he?
No.
Blessed of I.
Sam's kind of a booger man.